especially at the age of 50 or 50 plus, or even 40 plus. Assalamu alaikum, welcome again to Fit Fusion and our episodes of 50 going on to 30. Hope you guys are well at home, keeping fit. And if you don't have the knowledge of how to keep fit and maintain the science, then this is why we're here. And again, I've got Uddin Ahmed, who is a specialist in strength conditioning, body transformation. And we've covered a few things in general, last couple of episodes. This is the third episode. So welcome once again, and welcome to you, Taj.
Thank you for having me again.
Fantastic. Always good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Looking nice and 30.
Nice and 30. 50 going on 30.
As the program is. Right. So this time we'll be dealing with meal planning, which is a very important factor. And what I want to do is just let people know three things. So one is how to be obtaining this information and the knowledge, and then sustaining, how to sustain everything, or sustaining and maintaining. So these three things are very, very important, right? A lot of the times, because of lack of knowledge, we tend to eat the wrong stuff. We look at a lot of information on the online, for example, and there are a lot of mixed messages. So, I mean, we're here to clear most of that up, hopefully, and especially in our community, in the Asian community or the Bangladeshi community, because of the wrong diet, it has detrimental effect. So not only to do with training and to have the right kind of food while you're training, but even outside of that. So I want to cover all that. And I want to cover how to give them the right information, how to keep people healthy with a good diet, and hopefully we'll be doing our duties in terms of giving them the right information. So tell me a little bit in general about planning, and then we can go into our questions. Meal planning.
Okay. As the age was saying goes, if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So this is where most people go wrong and make massive mistakes when it comes to meal planning. So meal planning is really, really important. What it does, it gives you control over the calories you intake, because we tend to overeat. If you don't plan, if you don't meal prep, we end up going for junk food. And when we plan, get our meal prep done, we know exactly what we're having. We get the correct balance of protein, we get the correct balance of carbohydrates, we get the correct balance of fats. Great. So it's very important to plan.
Yeah, so I mean, as I mentioned, it is a science, right? And also the mathematics. I mean, I want to mention these two things. And with regards to measuring and, you know, planning, obviously, planning to measure the calories, or count the calories and the protein intake and the carbohydrates intake and also the fats. I want you to first mention that these three things that we always hear, or when I ask anybody or a nutritionist, they say, you know, fats are very, very important, right? And then the complex carbs, or what types of carbs, there's different types
complex
of
carb.
Right. So complex carbs, and also especially at the age of 50 or 50 plus, or even 40 plus, how much important protein is. So a lot of people, because of lack of knowledge, I've seen a lot of people, they eat a lot of food. They go to training, for example, but they're eating a lot of food, but they're not balancing that diet in terms of the correct mathematics, if you know what I mean. So tell me in your knowledge or your understanding, the importance of fats and protein and carbs, and how much, I mean, when I say how much, I mean, should it be more fats, more carbs, and or less carbs, and more protein? You know, this is something that we want to know first, and then we'll go into the specifics.
Sure. The specific and the nuances will depend on the individual circumstances, individual goals, and the individual size, individual's lifestyle, the level of activity. Somebody who's more active, like we've discussed in the previous show, will need a little bit more calories. Somebody who lives a sedentary lifestyle will need slightly less calories, like slightly less protein, slightly less carbs.
Okay, so he's not burning it off, he's not using it.
He's not utilizing. So carbohydrates, as we spoke before, is a source of energy, is fuel for our body. And as a rule of thumb, what I would say is we need 2 grams of protein per kilo of our body weight, roughly speaking.
That's a general rule
of thumb. Yeah. And we discuss why protein is really important. We need protein to grow our skin, our hair, our nails, to maintain bodily activities and bodily functions and bodily growth, as well as, if you're training, to repair the muscle and to build muscle, if that's our focus and goal. So protein is really, really important.
Okay.
We also discussed previously why it's important to have protein, especially as you get older, in your 40s and 50s. Post 30, sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle mass, 1 to 3% starts to occur unless you eat enough protein and you do resistance training.
Right.
So that's another reason why protein is
we will talk about resistance training. Okay. So, all right, let's just dive into the questions now. Maybe you covered a little bit, but with regards to, so this is something that you mentioned generally, but when people are training, right, why is meal planning so important for training, health and fitness, keeping both sides together? Because sometimes people might think that we need a lot of food inside us, but the planning is not there.
So as I mentioned, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, and you end up
not achieving your goal.
You're not achieving your goal, of course. When you're hungry, we tend to go for very high calorific foods. We'll end up going for the junk food. So it's important to know how much calories we're having, and if you've meal prepped or planned, you know exactly the quantities of the macronutrients. You know exactly how much protein you put in, how much fats, how much carbohydrates. And it will be according to your needs. Hopefully.
So is it good to write all those down?
I mean, once you've done it once.
So in the beginning, it's good to write it down.
In the beginning, it's good to write it down. It's good to track. Similar to exercise, you know, it's good to track what you're lifting, so you know that you're progressing. So let's talk about, let's go back to protein, right? So we need to know how much a certain food, how much protein does a certain food have? Like, for example, an egg. Okay, so a large egg would be, as far as I know, maybe 6 grams of protein. And then, but if you take the yolk away, then that decreases. It decreases by a little bit.
So we need to know that the whole egg, how much that it has. So if you're having, back in the day when I used to watch Rocky, the first Rocky, we used to see that, you know, he sort of put a lot of raw eggs in a blender. And then, you know, but raw eggs is not, it's quite nasty to drink. And maybe it's not advisable as well. But boiled eggs, right? And then maybe you can put it in a blender or eating it. Now, there's quite a few factors, because healthy eating is not very easy. And especially when you got a plate of healthy food, number one, it's not always tasty, right? Maybe you got to get used to it. And maybe it's different for different people, but you got to get used to it. And that's how I found this to be. And then, as well as the time consumption of eating that. So I tend to sort of blend it, you know, in
your eggs.
Even the eggs. Is that right? I mean, maybe you can tell me. But then you can sort of have protein shake mixed in it as well, a few fruits or blueberries or something like that. I think we're just moving off the question, to be honest. But let's just get back to the planning of the. So people need to know how much protein something has. Maybe you can tell us general information of maybe a breast chicken or a piece of fillet of fish. Yes, how much protein does it have?
An average size, medium sized chicken breast, anywhere between 30 and 40, about 40 grams of protein.
Right.
An egg, 6 to 7 grams of protein.
Yeah.
All the protein sources, so you could Google a table, 100 grams of steak, how much protein that has, 100 grams of chicken breast, how much protein that has. As a rule of thumb, I'd say for most people to know how much protein to have, anywhere between 30 and 40 grams would be sufficient per meal for most people.
Okay.
Typically, I give most of my clients advice, use your handspan as a size of the portion of the protein that you're going to have. Not everyone.
How does that work, this handspan?
I mean, it'll be relative to your size, isn't it? Your handspan is going to be relative to your size, roughly.
Right. All right, okay.
So, this is just a rule of thumb, very, 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 very general. So protein sources, one of the important fact of the protein sources, some proteins are higher in calories than others. So for example, tuna, drain can of tuna or tuna steak would be pretty low. At 100 grams, it would be about the lowest calories in comparison to, say, beef or lamb. They'll be slightly more fatty, and the calories in that will be more as well. 100 grams of protein from tuna would be about 600 odd calories. 100 grams of beef could be anywhere between 1100 to 1500 calories. So you could see there's nearly 50% difference in terms of the calories. So not all protein sources are equal in terms of calories as well.
So people should look at the labels.
Definitely, we've got labels now.
Yes, I mean it's the law to have the labels and even the ingredients and everything now. So they've got the information there. Also, we've got information on our fingertips now with the Google. So you'd say that they should do their research of how much protein intake they should take, and again, it's to do with body mass and size and everything as well.
The amount of protein is going to be similar for most people. Anywhere 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. That's the rule of thumb.
Quite simple,
for everybody. Whether you're a big bodybuilder or a lay person who wants to stay fit, healthy, and ensure they're getting sufficient protein in.
So, okay, next question would be, what should a healthy day of eating look like? It's kind of a vague, maybe a question, but what should a healthy day of eating look like? And I think the what is what we are giving importance to.
The what, a healthy day of eating, every single meal should contain a source of protein. That's very, very important. With what a healthy day of eating looks like is meal timings as well, very, very important. So, I recommend an hour after you wake up, you try and have breakfast and ensure there's some protein in there. Eggs and oats or a protein smoothie. That way that kickstarts the metabolism and sets the tone for our level of energy for that particular day. For most people, or an active or even sedentary people, 3 meals is enough. For an active person, at least have 2.
Including the breakfast?
Including the breakfast. So 3 main meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And then for somebody who's active, throw in a couple of snacks, high protein Greek yogurt, some nuts, some fruits in between. Try and space out the meals about 3 to 4 hours, no more than that. That way the metabolism ticks on. That way your blood sugar level is at a constant and you are energized throughout the day, and you're not suddenly feeling hungry again. When you're feeling too hungry, we end up going for wrong choices of food, high calorific, junk food, sweets, desserts, etc.
So I think we missed the part of the fats and the carbs. We have mentioned protein quite a few times, but how do you incorporate the good fats?
The good fats, carbohydrates, maybe 40 to 50% of your entire day's calories should be from carbohydrates if you're active. Ideally, meal timing, carbohydrates, if you time it before a workout. So try and have a meal 1 to 2 hours before your workout, and the carbohydrate's going to fuel your workout. Post-workout, 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, try and have some carbohydrates along with your protein. It's the carbohydrates that's going to help shuttle the protein into your muscle. So the protein is like the passengers on the underground,
Okay.
and the carbohydrates the underground, the tube
Okay.
that carries for protein synthesis to occur within the muscles to build, to repair from the damage or the workout that you've done.
Yeah, that's something I want to know about, the protein synthesis. It's a whole field in itself. Okay, so 3 times a day. Obviously, you sort of similarly give a gap between each meal, and to have more protein in the meals itself, and then incorporate the fats. You said about 40 to 50% or something like that, the carbohydrates as well. So carbohydrates would give you the energy.
With the energy.
Just for the viewers' information, gives you the energy. So it's always good to have more carbs before training, if you like. Is that right?
So timing your carbohydrates around your training
Yeah.
is ideal, because you can use it for energy, for your workout, and then to help with the repair and for protein synthesis post-workout. Because when you're training, you lose the glycogen, the stored sugars, glucose within our muscles. When you train, they get depleted.
Yeah.
So to replenish them, you have the extra carbohydrates post-workout. Best times to have it.
All right, okay. And also, you know the old saying of eat a breakfast like a king, and the lunch and so forth, eat dinner like a pauper. How much does that fit into reality?
That fits in quite well. You know, the advice for dinner time, for example, should be a lighter meal.
Yeah.
If you're having carbohydrates, more complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, whole grain rice, vegetables, lentils, etc.
So again, you need to know what you're eating.
Yeah, slightly lighter.
Not white rice.
Not ideal.
Okay.
Not ideal. You can have white rice, get away with it, but it's not ideal. Sumo wrestlers, for example, they used to have a lot of white rice, a lot of rice.
And we
so
know
if
how
you want
they
to look like
though,
a sumo wrestler, by all means,
By
have
all
a mountain
means.
of rice at night time.
Because that's just going to store in your body, and you just
will.
you're going to sleep as well, isn't it? It's not, you're not burning it off.
You're not burning off when you're sleeping.
I always used to think, why do sumo wrestlers want to look like that? But anyway, that's the whole other subject, right? So coming to how much people should eat. Obviously, I think you'd say that it depends on the size of a person, what kind of goal they want to achieve as well, right? But can you overeat? Overeat, like even if you're training, if you're burning it and you just think eating's gonna do, you know, aren't you sort of straining the liver, and because the organ's got to work, isn't it? And they've got to take in all that food, and the insulin's got to come out and put the right stuff in the right places. So what would you say to how much should people eat in a day? And obviously it's going to differ between who it is.
It will be determined. I mean, for example, somebody who's 70 kilos in weight would typically need 140 grams of protein per day. If they're very active, their maintenance calorie could be 2,500 calories.
Right.
If they're not so active, it could be 2,200 calories, for example.
Okay.
So in that range.
Yeah.
So if they eat any more than 2,500 calories, they will end up putting on weight.
Yeah.
If they eat below 2,200 or 2,500, depending on where they are and their level of activity, they'll lose weight.
Yeah. So it depends on what they want to achieve. But,
and what they want to achieve.
But since we're doing
fats,
since we're 50 going on to 30, we want to look like 30-year-olds, or most of the people hopefully they're watching are maybe 50 onwards, because that's what the program is about. So eating too much is gonna sort of or not eating the right stuff and eating too much, maybe, you know, age them a bit more, the longevity maybe is not there. Or I just want to understand that, is eating less better for someone who's, you know, 50 plus?
well, somebody who's overweight,
Yeah.
50 plus, got excess body fat, they need to be in a calorie deficit to lose the fat.
Yeah.
Whilst exercising and maintaining muscle mass or building muscle mass and strength.
Okay.
Getting some cardiovascular training in between as well. Somebody who's skinny or skinny fat, for example, they need to put on more muscle mass. So they need to eat more protein and exercise harder, and they may need to be on a calorie surplus to put on the muscle mass.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So again, obviously, it depends on who
the
it is.
individual. Yeah.
But I think, like after the age of sort of 40 and all that, because of the metabolism that goes down, you should maybe eat a little bit less and look a little bit more slimmer.
Eat at your maintenance level or slightly below.
Great. Okay. Again, with regards to timing, maybe you mentioned a few things earlier on, but what is the best time to eat during the day? When is the best time to eat during the day?
Yeah. I mean, I think we just touched upon.
We did a little bit, didn't we? Yeah.
Just a little bit, yeah.
I've just got the questions here, so I've got to ask.
So breakfast within an hour of waking up, that will energize you because you are fasting.
Within an hour, yeah? So not straight away, maybe.
Within an hour, if you can.
Some people think
if you're in a rush, you can have it straight away. If you're not, some people are on the go, so have a protein smoothie, for example. If you're on the go, if you've got a bit more time, like me, I like to wake up an hour before I need to do anything, so I can relax, have my breakfast, my oats and my eggs. Timing-wise, space them out, 3 to 4 hours, your meals. 3 meals a day, lunch, dinner. Dinner should be nice and light.
Yeah, okay.
Carbohydrates, mainly before and after your workouts.
Okay, right. Yeah, so we did touch upon that before. But there's one thing that I did mention earlier on, and you I think you were not very happy with the eggs being blended. And now you mentioned oats as well. So can those two things be blended for people on the go? Like even myself.
You can blend the eggs, cook the eggs. It was the raw eggs.
Ah, yes,
That's the risk part.
Okay.
Due to salmonella.
Salmonella, yeah.
But,
right. So why did people used to do that before? And
some people are very, very tough.
They can take it.
Like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky.
Yeah.
Drink it raw. No, I haven't. I have
you?
As a kid once or twice. But no,
it wasn't for you.
I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah, so it's not advisable. Just for the viewers, raw eggs or anything like that, not advisable. What about oats?
Oats.
Because they say you need to soak it. And again, just for the viewers, because we want to be very informative here.
So overnight oats, very, very tasty. You can leave the milk in your oats in a bowl overnight in the fridge. When you wake up,
So is it for the taste?
It tastes slightly different. If you like your oats cold, you can have it like that. It is soft, very easy tea. You can put your nut seeds and fruits the night before, or if you like it hot, like in winter.
So you can. So the answer is you can blend anything.
You can blend anything you like.
Okay, great. Right. Before I go to the next one, the chicken breast. It's an interesting one to me. Sometimes you can't eat the whole chicken breast, right? So maybe you marinated this in pepper, yeah. And I've got a guy who actually asked me that the other day. He goes, "Can we blend it?" So somebody said, one of the guys in the gym, they said you can't blend anything hot. Just don't blend anything hot. But other than that, you can. So from your perspective. Chicken breast, I'm talking about.
Some people do. Some people blend their food and eat it.
Make their own protein shake, right?
Make their own protein shake.
Does it work?
I've got a saying.
Yeah.
If we were meant to drink like babies, drink milk, Allah wouldn't have given us teeth to chew food.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
So go on then. Elaborate on that.
I prefer protein shake. As previously mentioned, is a supplementation from the food that we eat. Yeah. When we chew our food, there's a whole physiology, activity that goes on. Yeah. We've got saliva in our mouth. Yeah. Our body then prepares for food to go down our esophagus, the throat, into the stomach, and that stomach acid is released. And the body absorbs solid food slightly slower, at a slower rate than liquid food, for example.
Okay.
So there's a whole process that goes on.
Yeah. But you wouldn't say it's not a big problem for people on the go to.
Like you've got stuff like meal replacement. I'm a firm believer you should eat proper whole solid food, not replace your meals with drinks.
Okay.
If we were supposed to be consuming all our foods through drinks, then we wouldn't have had teeth to chew.
Okay. And then have the canine teeth to bite the meat as well. So meat and chicken.
Yeah, and there's a sense of satisfaction when you're chewing your food. You get satiated, you feel full, and there's a certain pleasure and joy we get.
Oh yeah,
tasting
definitely.
different foods.
Absolutely,
and when it's all
yes.
blended in, what are we tasting? Broccoli?
Well,
or
you know,
chicken,
it's just you're making it appropriate, aren't you? It's just
if you're on the go and you're in a rush, convenience once in a while.
Proper word, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to people because we've talked about per day, you know, food, and let's see how you're going to answer this one. What should a healthy weekly meal plan look like? A weekly one. And how, let me just elaborate or add to it that how often should you change your weekly plan?
How often should you change? Very, very good question. First of all, try not to plan for the whole week. Just do it for 3 days.
Okay.
Do it, take small steps.
So no weekly plan, 3 days.
Yeah, go 3 days at a time. So, and choose 3 protein sources, 3 carb sources, 3 vegetable sources, vegetables that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you grill your chicken or roast your chicken, chop your vegetables, and then put them in containers, and then you can mix and match the carbohydrate, the vegetable, the protein. And that will keep it interesting. So you can have different combination of meals every day.
Okay.
And you're not going to get bored that way.
All right. And also, if you're planning for 3 days, then if you're pre-preparing those meals for someone who's really busy, for example, so they're pre-preparing it and refridging those meals, would it decrease the nutritional values of that?
In 3 days, 4 days, it's not going to make that much difference. Most of the food items that we buy, whether it's vegetables or meats or other processed foods as well, they'll all have a best before date, and it's usually more than 2-3 days.
Okay, it's just a few common questions that people
will come across.
Yeah, because when they want to go to the specifics, you know, and like we mentioned, there is a right way of doing it. Yeah.
During summer, for example, you wouldn't leave milk outside.
No.
It's going to go off. You leave it in the fridge. Similarly, chicken and other Asian curry dishes as well, we wouldn't leave it outside. We'd cover it, put it into the fridge.
Okay.
It will last.
Right. Okay. So 3 sources of protein.
3 sources of protein.
Yeah. And obviously you've got your carbs and the fats as well. Is there anything else? Fiber,
Carbs,
but then again,
so vegetables, and from carbohydrates you'll get some fiber.
you get the
So
fiber as
fibrous vegetables, you know, green vegetables, leafy green vegetables, plenty of fiber in that.
which is very important as well, because fiber is something that for digestion and
Sweet
everything
potato,
else,
plenty of fiber in sweet potato.
Even an apple.
Even an apple and fruits,
Apple a day,
of course.
you know, they say apple a day
used
keeps
to
the
keep the
doctors
doctor
away.
away.
Right, yeah. Okay, brilliant. Right, so, I'm not going to ask you that question because we've covered that. Why is protein so important in every meal? And we've covered that, right? So let's just go into the next question, which is, what's the biggest mistake people make with meal planning? And that's going to be an interesting one, because I've had a lot of people come and say to me, and then they say, well, plan this meal, this is what I do, this is what I... Some Mr. Know-it-all, and then it seems like they're doing everything wrong.
Then the biggest mistake is people not planning and doing the meal plan.
Yeah.
And that's where they go wrong. The other thing is they cut out carbohydrates, go for extreme diets. They get that wrong. Or they try and plan for the entire week.
Okay.
So it's about doing something small and progressive.
And see how it goes for you.
See how it goes for you, of course. Implementing good habits to make them lasting, so you can achieve and progress and achieve the goal that you're looking for, whether it's to put on more muscle, whether it's to lose body fat, or just generally feel good about life and yourself.
Yeah. Because it makes a difference, isn't it? I mean, what you eat, that could spoil the whole of your day, or it could just make you feel good. I've had those days, you had the wrong stuff and then you bloated and everything else. And it just makes your day miserable.
It can, yeah.
I just wanted to add one thing with regards to the biggest mistakes, or it's not relevant exactly, but there are some people who do carnivore diets, right? So it's just meat on its own. And I've seen some videos saying that, you can be on those diets. But what we just mentioned, we need the carbs and everything else. So how does that exactly work, the carnivore diet? This is just a pure meat diet from morning to evening. Do you know anything about that?
Well, a little bit. Carnivore, there's been so many fad diets. Carnivore diet is a diet. It has helped many people lose weight. Typically, what we're saying about the importance of protein with the carnivore diet is protein heavy and fat heavy. So body goes into ketosis and uses fat instead of carbohydrates to fuel itself.
Okay.
And when you eat protein, high amounts of protein, you feel more satiated and you don't go for more junk food. So we go for junk food when we're ravenous, when we're hungry. If you've ever gone to a supermarket shopping when you're hungry, you go for one thing, you end up buying a whole trolley full of items. Yeah. Because that's how our human psychology, human body sort of works. When the body's full, and protein tends to keep us more satiated and keeps us full for longer as well. Okay. So that's one of the aspects how people end up losing weight. But
you mentioned ketosis. Just explain to us, because it's to do with the body sort of taking in from all the carbs that is there already, sort of like eating that off, right?
Eating the body fat, using the body's fat as fuel.
Okay.
Rather
so
than
here it's getting, for the carnivore diet, here it's just getting the protein. So it's storing the protein, which is muscle building
and fat,
and the fat, and that's good fat as well, right?
Could be good fat, could be bad fat.
Could be bad fat, yeah, yeah. Because I'm just trying to understand, because with the red meat and stuff, it could be sort of saturated fat, which you don't want to take too much of, right?
Yeah, you want to keep everything balanced. We spoke about eggs previously. Eggs tend to have slightly higher level of cholesterol and calories. So if you look into the table of foods, tuna and fishes would come out least amount of calories with the same amount of protein, and you work your way down that list. Chicken breast will be pretty lean, chicken thighs slightly higher calories, beef slightly more. Eggs will be quite high in terms of calories for the amount of protein per 100 grams or 140 grams, whatever you need.
Brilliant. Okay, right. Thank you. So just the last question would be, if someone wants to start meal planning today, where should they begin? What's your advice? There's so many things that we'll obviously cover, because we've got a few more episodes to come, quite a few more episodes, and we'll cover that. But with regards to someone who wants to start off, and let me just put this in as well, because a lot of the diets could be not correct for people with conditions. So we've done something on this program with regards to metabolic disorders. The same diet for a normal person, which seems very, very good, could be the completely wrong diet for someone with diabetes or fatty liver disease or something like that. Like eggs, for example, high in cholesterol, but it's good cholesterol, right? The eggs have. But then it could be not the right kind of diet for somebody with fatty liver disease, for example, yeah?
Yeah, with the eggs, talking about cholesterol, I think we previously sort of skimmed around it in the previous shows. Yeah. Our body actually produces 80% of the cholesterol that we need. Our liver produces that.
Right.
It's not from the dietary cholesterol.
Okay. All right.
So eggs were vilified for a little while.
It was, wasn't it?
And now it's not. Yeah. So science is always changing as well. So we've got to bear that in mind. Studies come out, they get debunked, then new studies come out. One day this food is going to be this vilified, another day another food is.
So new science comes out to prove that wrong.
Superfood.
Right. Okay, just if someone wants to start a meal planning today, I mean, just small tips maybe.
Little steps, as you know, as we covered. Try not to plan for the entire week. Don't take bite of more than you can chew, literally.
Okay.
2-3 days at a time. Choose your protein sources. You might choose a meat, poultry, maybe some fish.
Brilliant.
Mix and match with your carbs, with the vegetables.
Brilliant. Thank you. Listen, thank you once again for coming, and it's always a pleasure to see you. Just for the viewers, there may be so many questions that is, going across your mind right now with so many things that we mentioned. I would always advise you to do your own research. The information is out there. If somebody is with a certain, condition and they still want to carry on with their training, look into that, because, everybody's different. Whether they've got a condition or not, everybody is different. So you know, a certain diet may not be you know, correct for you. It may be correct for somebody else, is what I'm trying to say. So hope you guys enjoyed the program. Hope it was informative. We've got so many other episodes coming up. Keep on watching. And until next time, assalamu alaikum.